Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, my face is really bright. My mom got a new stand, and now I'm using it because it looks cool and it has a light on it. But you know, you might be thinking this isn't how I usually do it. Usually I'm like screen recording on my phone, and you're right, I've only had like maybe 3-4 other videos that were like this. But I decided that my Nerf reviews were doing pretty well. All of them have over like 65 views. So I decided, why not do it again? So today I'm going to be reviewing the Nerf Elite 2.0 Warden. Now, when this thing released, a lot of people had a problem with it where it would break very easily. But Hasbro ended up fixing it. So now it actually works. But yeah, to be fair, when this gun first released, it was breaking really easily. It was like really crappy. But now that, now that it's fixed, I decided that I'm going to review it. So let's get started. I'm going to tell you everything about the gun. Starting over here, this is the grip. It feels pretty good. It's a bit different because it's kind of angled, but the grip itself feels pretty good. And above that is the sling mouth, so you can put a sling through it, attach it on your shoulder. We know what that is. Down here is the trigger. The trigger feels good. I feel like it's not the best trigger ever. It's like a little bit rough, and it kind of shakes the entire gun when you shoot. Like I'll show you right now. I'm gonna shoot it. It like kind of shakes a little bit. But the trigger itself feels pretty good. It's just that the pulling it back, it kind of isn't that smooth. It's kind of like junky. I don't know how to explain it. It's like really rough. This is a 2-stage trigger, which means you could shoot 2 bullets at a time, or you could shoot 1 bullet at a time by pressing it halfway. I can't do it. I'm gonna try it a couple more times, try to get it on camera. But basically, it's really hard. Unlike the twin shock, which I believe I already reviewed on this channel, it's really hard to use the 2-stage trigger on here. So basically what happens is it's a shotgun. So you could shoot 2 bullets at a time, and if you pull it halfway, you could shoot 1 bullet, and then you pull it halfway again, and it shoots another bullet. So I'm gonna try doing that. I did it! You heard it? Yeah, obviously there isn't any bullets in it because there would be bullets hitting the roof and the fan. There's a fan above me. But yeah, it's a 2-stage trigger. It's a bit hard to use. But overall, the trigger feels pretty decent. It's not the worst thing ever. And moving on, you might have noticed, before I say anything else, you might have noticed that this is the Transformers Nerf Warden. It's basically the same thing as the regular Warden, but it's like sponsored by Transformers, I guess. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. We got the Elite 2.0 logo right here. Nothing really much. And above the trigger is actually a tactical rail, so you can put a scope on your shotgun if you want to do that for some reason. There's this thing. This is the pull for it. I think this feels pretty nice. Definitely a lot better than the trigger because it's pretty smooth. It's kind of awkward to grip. You could probably tell by the shape. You have to kind of like hold it. And I feel like this is definitely better if you have smaller hands. But I'm not really going to complain about that because Nerf is like made for smaller kids. And I'm not saying that older people don't use Nerf guns, because I see people like that all the time online. But yeah, this is a pretty small grip. It's hard to fit your whole finger without like getting it pushed into here, so it's kind of awkward. And on top of that, it's like at an angle, so I don't know. I like the twin shock more, which you can actually grip it good and pull it back and forward and back and forward. So yeah, this grip is a bit small, and it feels kind of weird to hold. But the actual pulling of the thing, the actual pulling of the grip isn't that bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty smooth. So I've never figured out what this is, but there's just a random orange spot on the gun. it's not like there's anything really wrong with it, but you can't open it. There's no screws. You can't unscrew it, so it's just there. Just thought I would note that. It doesn't really look like it's part of the gun. It's just like a random orange box. It's pretty weird. But yeah, up here is the barrels. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 barrels. So you can hold 8 bullets, which means you could shoot 4 times, 2 bullets 4 times, or 1 bullet 8 times. So yeah, whichever one you want. You can even do a little bit of both, which I like to do. I think it's pretty fun. But you know, if you could handle this trigger, we already went over that. But yeah, so I think this is a decent amount. The gun is a bit big. Like, looking at this gun, it is pretty big for only 8 shots. But you know what? 8 shots is 8 shots. It's pretty good. It could definitely get you through a Nerf war if you're having one. And if you're just having fun, you can make this last a pretty long time. Above here, another sling mouth. 2 sling mouths. You know, for some reason. If you want to have another sling, you can. So yeah, that's the Nerf Elite 2.0 Warden. Long name, I know. But I have to say the whole thing because I have to. This gun, in my opinion, it could use improvements. Okay, the trigger, it's a bit rough. You might even be able to hear it. Listen, I don't know. I think it feels a bit rough. You'll just have to see for yourself. And you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it feels a bit rough. The trigger itself looks and feels pretty good, but when it comes to actually shooting the gun, it's kind of eh. And this part right here, you know, you cock it back. That part of it's pretty good, but actually holding on to it isn't that great. If you have bigger hands like me, because again, there's this blue part right here, which your fingers are kind of stuck in. So if you're holding it for a long amount of time, it might get a little bit uncomfortable. And then also, since I've already went over this, since it's at an angle, it's awkward to hold. The trigger is not that great. This thing is not that great. The rest of the gun is decent. There's a lot of things that you could do with it. There's slings. There's a tactical rail. There's a 2-stage trigger. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with this gun. So yeah, I'm gonna rate this gun. If I were to rate it, I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10. If they can make the trigger pull smoother, and they can make this a little bit bigger and remove this random blue part and make it straight, then this could be a pretty good gun. On a side note is that it's a bit big for 8 bullets. I only went over this like a little bit, but yeah, it's a little bit too big in my opinion. So if they could make it like a little bit smaller, like it's right here right now, if they could put it like maybe right there, that would be a pretty good gun size for 8 bullets. But yeah, this is definitely a huge improvement from when they first released it, because you know, it would break every 5 shots. So yeah, I like to see that they're improving. They're trying to fix the guns. So yeah, that's what I think about the Nerf Elite 2.0 Warden. If you have one, or if you plan on buying one, let me know what you think in the comments. So yeah, that's about it for this video. I enjoyed doing this. You know, I miss the older videos. I know my channel has not really been out for that long. But yeah, it's refreshing to do new content sometimes. I hope I enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.